best sports show in Kansas City. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio, where sports come alive. Join your hosts, the awesome voice, and Coach 24 as they dive into the latest sports news, analysis, and excitement. From the biggest games to the most thrilling moments, they've got it all covered. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an hour of unbeatable sports action. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Weekend Eve. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. My brother with another mother, Coach 24, Darwin Penny, was in town for a breath or two, and then he went back out. Yesterday, I believe he went to the Frontier All-Star game in New York, and so he is not here tonight. And running the show behind the scenes, Mr. George Walker, DJ Scatter. Mr. Walker, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing just fine here.
All right, that's awesome. And we've got a couple of Panthers that have you been on the show?
Yeah.
You've been on the show once. Now, we've got a rookie on the show, Dalton Purdom.
Yes, sir.
All right, and he is the right tackle for the Kansas City Panthers, and Angel Cardona. I don't know why I screwed that up. Angel Cardona, who is the center and the offensive captain for the Kansas City Panthers, which played this past Saturday after actually being off, 3 weeks? Off 3 weeks in the first round of the playoffs, the semifinals of the Gateway Conference against Eastern Central Missouri Eagles. And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it was a game towards the end. We struggled a little bit against them. They're built right behind Justice, it was a game. It was definitely a playoff game. We made those adjustments and came out on top. So now we're focused on the Falcons.
Absolutely. So, Dalton, first time on. Give us a little synopsis on you. Where did you come from? Where did you go to high school, college, if you went to college? And how did you become a member of the Kansas City Panthers?
So, in high school, I went to a small town, Wellsville, Kansas. I went to Wellsville High School.
Wellsville?
Yeah, Wellsville High School in a small town in Kansas. I played 4 years there, and then I had 31 offers to go various D1 schools. I was committed to KU, and my mom had cancer, so I dropped out and everything like that. And actually, my rookie year, I played with the Titans in 2019 with him. Played for a couple seasons, won a ring together, and then in between that time, played a little arena football, played over in Germany, and this year he kind of begged me to come back, so that's how I ended up on the Panthers.
Now, so where did you play in arena football? Now, did you play in America?
Yes,
arena? So who did you play for?
Played for the St. Louis Land Sharks.
Oh, okay, cool. So you just played one season there?
Half a season.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got there, how you made the team, and
That guy right there. Put me on. Like, it was a random day. What was that, it was 2019 or 2020?
I think it was after the championship game.
It was in between 2020 and 2021. And just one day he called me up. He was like, hey, do you want to go to this tryout? I'm like, sure. I had 0 hours of sleep in me. We drove 3 hours there. And we both got offered a spot on that day.
wow.
Didn't really last that long because that's a long ways to drive for practices and games.
Right.
But it was a cool experience while I got to play.
So tell us the difference between playing arena football and playing 11-man football outside.
It's night and day. The pace is different. The field is shorter. It's harder hitting. I sure as I wouldn't want to be a wide receiver catching balls in the end zone. Absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
They'll get hit real hard on that wall. I'm good. I'll stay in the trenches.
You mean so it's not like the NFL, if you hit somebody too hard, they throw a penalty on you?
No. You can have that man's hit in the corner and just send them right over the edge. It's like hockey almost.
Oh, wow. So
I mean,
you,
it's played in hockey arenas.
right,
Yeah.
right. I get that. So you were playing arena football in Germany?
I played professional football in Germany.
Oh, professional.
It's,
Okay.
Yeah, so it's essentially just like the CFL, but in Germany it's called the GFL. I played for Berlin's team out there for half a season, or for full season. I only played half a season though.
Gotcha.
I was bench for the first half.
Oh, wow. But then you played the second
Yes,
half.
sir.
So how did your team do? That good, huh?
Yeah.
So in other words, we
Very
could
good.
say that the Panthers are much better than the German team.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So then afterwards, I guess you came back.
I took 2 years off. He kept trying to get me to play for the Cavaliers and Titans and the Panthers again last year, but I was kind of over it. Like, football was my first love. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wanted to go to NFL, and I mean, I'm tooting my own horn here, but I probably had a pretty good chance of doing that. Things work differently in my life, but that's not where I'm at. So I kind of just fell out of love with the game. As one does say, it's that semi-pro bullshit. So it gets to you. And I didn't really want to do it, but somehow, some way, he convinced me one day. Him and Jay, Coach Jay, they've both been like calling me and texting me for at least 3-4 months leading up to the day that I finally said yes. But I'm here.
Yep, absolutely. So, and you guys have a formidable offensive line. Now saying this, the last time we had a show, which was several weeks ago, we had Cordelius
Yes, sir.
Wright
Yes, sir.
and Brady Orwick. And I'm trying. Brady's gonna kill me. But at least I got Brady right. I called him Brandon too, Steve. But anyway, so Cordelius ended up leaving the team, but for a good reason. He ended up going down to Huntsville, Alabama, and signed a contract to actually get paid to play some football.
Pretty contract, dude.
Oh, wow. So I don't know what the contract is, and we'll just we'll leave it between us. But saying that, you know, he goes down there, they sign a contract, and they wanted him so bad that they provided him with a job in accounting. So I mean, obviously that's the perfect job. If you're going to make some good money, you need an accountant to count all that money. So anyway, so that I am so happy for Cordelius, but at the same time, I would love for him to come back and at least play 2 more games with us. So, but saying that, you guys ended up winning. It was, you know, you guys were playing very well. You were up 28-12, and then you guys, what most every team does, I don't care if you're college, I don't care if you're NFL or whatever, you guys put your foot off the gas and you went into cruise control. What happened?
I think we got comfortable. We thought last time we played this team, we played them, was it 38-0?
36-0.
I didn't even
Yeah.
play that game. I remember watching that at my niece's birthday. And I was like, all right, I can turn this game off.
I think at one point the Eagles wanted it more than us. We went undefeated this regular season, and I think a lot of people just got too comfortable, and we just needed that wake-up call. So now, when we're preparing, we got that in the back of our minds. Hey, it's any given Saturday at this point. Yeah, we're getting ready to go to practice today, and we've already been game planning, what we need to do, to be able to make it to the next round. So I think a lot of it was just kind of being unprepared. I mean, we were off for almost a month, and at one point, it felt like we were going to lose it, but we had to pull those, make those adjustments, and show them that we really wanted it more. So this upcoming week, I mean, it's going to be another challenge for us.
So saying this, how hard? Now you guys have been one of the most conditionally fit teams. You guys have been one of the most sound teams. You had the best defense in the league. How hard is it to try to keep that mojo of staying in shape and everything else when you're not playing for 3 or 4 weeks? Because you had the holidays, you had games where they got canned or forfeited because teams didn't show up. How hard is that?
It's hard. A lot of us, we all have full-time jobs. Some of us are working 60, 70 hours a week. So, trying to make those extra practices, make that extra, workout, get that extra conditioning. Sometimes it's a little challenging, especially when we're off for 2-3 weeks. But we gotta re-gear and keep grinding. We gotta find a way to make it happen. So it definitely takes a big impact in our performance and conditioning.
Absolutely. So we're here with the Panthers, Dalton Purdom and Angel Cardona, both of them offensive linemen for the Panthers. Saying that, now, how old are you, sir?
24.
Okay, so you're still relatively young.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it harder for you because you are a lot younger? Because he's a couple of years older, and I guarantee you, if I was out there, I would be dead. But saying that, is it easy for you to try to recover from not working out as much, or do you need to continue on doing that?
So we've actually had this conversation this year, and because I've been playing with him since I was 17. My rookie year, I was 17 years old, and it was always easy. I could go out drinking the night before and play lights out. This is the first year that's like kind of, I'm a little more sore, I'm hurting more, takes a little bit longer. Luckily for me, I'm blue collar. I work outside every day, I'm lifting heavy things and having to do a lot of physically inducing labor and tasks. So like when it comes to being off, I'm not really off. Like I'm in the gym every day, I'm working every day. So it's kind of, I guess, beneficial for me, but there's definitely that, at least in the game on Saturday, there's definitely that the period where you kind of like feeling it out, and once your body gets used to it, it just is like riding a bike for me. And then the next morning, of course, it hurts pretty bad.
Wait till you hit 30.
Yeah.
Now I feel 28.
Yeah, I wish I was feeling 28, but anyway. So saying that, you guys did pull it out. You guys persevered, because they had all the momentum. They could have just easily Perdress, I can't even say his name right now.
Justice
Perdero. Yeah, I got it right. Perdero. And he was just a beast in the second half. I mean, he was literally unstoppable. He was running the ball like Derrick Henry. And so, I know that sometimes that you get that adversity and a lot of guys, they can pull through, but sometimes, you kind of start freaking out a little bit because you've had an undefeated season and you've never been in the fourth quarter where somebody was just overtaking you guys. I mean, you did have the game against the Falcons where you drove down the field, scored a touchdown, but they were...
The Vipers game was a close one.
So saying that, how, recovering from this, how does it prepare you this week for the St. Louis Falcons? Because you got a rematch with them.
It just makes me more hungry. I'm excited. Last time I played the Falcons, I was playing with a half-pulled hamstring. Fortunately, I didn't get to play last week due to a 4th of July accident.
Yes, yeah, and you got to tell the story. So,
yeah, so basically what happened, I got shot by a mortar. I got some bad burns to the abdominal. But
I guess I wanted more to tell you, you prepared to stay away from the firecrackers, the fireworks, so you could be healthy for the game. And then what happened?
Look, I told myself this year, normally I pop fireworks every year, and I'm like, this year, I really want to be prepared for the playoffs. Let me stay away from the fireworks. So I didn't pop a single firework this year. And, I had my family around me. My mom was sitting directly behind me, and I'm just talking to her. And someone lit a firework, and in the midst of it popping, it tilted. And when it tilted, it shot me right in the stomach. But, thank God it hit me and
Right.
not my mother that was sitting behind me or
Right.
my nieces that were around. So I'll take that L, and take the time to recover. So right now I have some scabs from that wound, but it's playoff time. We gotta grind. We gotta grind. So I'm hungry. I'm ready to get back with the line and regroup, get this offense rolling. And give them birds a real dirty look.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Falcons and what you guys need to prepare for with the Falcons.
They seem to run a lot of 5-man front or like a heavy box. So just trying to pick up all the blitzes, make sure we have all of our assignments in sync, make sure everybody's fresh. We have the depth at the line. We have depth at every position. It's just a matter of whenever your number is called, you got to step up to the plate. So I think a lot of it is just making sure we're all on the same page, make sure we're all synchronizing, and really just get physical with them. It's gonna win. We're gonna win it in the trenches. That's where every game comes down to. If we win the trenches, we're gonna win the game.
Absolutely, and that has been your strengths all year long. So, in fact, actually, the last time you played them, your agility, your conditioning, actually helped you win that game because you could see that they were starting to get a little winded.
Oh, yeah.
That, they're holding their knees and stuff like that. You could kind of tell. So
It makes it easier for us to make those adjustments when we see, hey, look, that nose and the linebackers are on their knees. Let's go right at them. Let's get physical with them. Let them
Yeah.
know this is our style of football. We're going to ground and pound the ball,
yep.
play after play. We'll tell you what play we're running, and we'll still come at you.
Well, I definitely know the defense is going to be angry because they gave up 28 points. They gave up 4 touchdowns. I mean, the number one defense, they only gave up 50 points in 10 games. And then they turned around and gave up 28. And so I know that they are going to just they're going to be hopefully they'll be really focused. But I'm
see
thinking
practice today.
Oh, yeah.
Need to see them practice. I'm gonna give them my all. They better embarrass me today.
Yep, absolutely. So when you guys practice, how are the practices? Because I know that you do your individual drills, and then later on in the practice, you guys get together. You do your you may run the offense for this team for the defense, and then the defense runs the defense for the team that you guys are going to play. So, what are you guys looking forward to in practice tonight?
I look forward to 100% effort because at the end of the day, like all season really, it's kind of like the only time we really get live action reps is in game. Like we don't go against the DL, the defensive line in pregame. So the only time I really, especially for me, the second half of the season, I've been out of town working. It's very rare I've been able to make practices. This is my first practice back in a long time. I haven't really been able to make games, so I just want to see compete. I want to get scrappy. At the beginning of the season, every single practice, I was in somebody's face because we were going at it, going to war. And at the end of the practice, we'll dap up. I need to see that energy today. Because if I don't, then I'm a little bit more nervous than I should be for Saturday.
But I think Coach Webb has a pretty good script for practice. I know he's locked in probably more than our players are.
Yeah.
So I played under Webb for the last 10 years, and I love him. So I trust in what he's doing with the defense. I trust Jimmy, and I think we're gonna have a really good practice today.
Well, and Coach Ross, Jimmy Ross, and shout out to Jimmy Ross, Coach Webb, Coach Major, or Coach Robinson. I call him J Major.
Little J.
Coach Holloway, DeWason, Thomas, Coach Thomas, all the coaches, and I hope I got them. All. But,
All the main ones, yeah.
but shout out to them big time. So saying this, Jimmy has been in this before because obviously he's won one. You've won a championship. You won a championship. So you guys know what it takes. But saying that, come Saturday, you guys end up becoming the team on top that will go to Joplin and face the winner of the Great Plains champion. How is that going to feel? What is your
Ain't nothing but a thing. Both those teams are sweet.
I think, it's exciting, just to be able to make it to the championship, especially turning the program around after, a very struggle season that they've had last year.
Like 3 games.
It's hard to turn a team like that. Not only, turning it around, but going undefeated, making it through the playoffs, going to the championship. It's our main goal this year was probably to go 500. That was our first goal. Once we hit that goal, we said, you know what? Let's go a little farther. Let's see how far we could really take this.
Yeah.
And right now, we're getting national bids. We're not even done with our playoffs yet. So I think right now we're still ranked number 1 in the 2A national level.
Yep.
I'm not happy. I want to be 1A. So the job's not done. Got to treat every game like it's your last. Even if you're 10-0, 11-0, 0-10.
So does the expectations become more challenging?
At the end of the day, it's just a football on another Saturday.
We're playing another human being
No.
that bleed and eat and breathe just like us.
Do your job. At least for me personally, I know for him as well. We've been playing this game over half our lives. Like I've been playing the game of football since I was 5 years old. I've been playing at a high level since I was 10. All right. So at the end of the day, it's just if you've been playing as long as I have, as long as he has, and most people on our team, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what's expected of you. There's no ask too big. It's just go out there, do your job, try your best.
I think as veterans, we gotta show the example, to the young guys. There's a lot of guys on this team that have never been on this stage. They've played on those 0 and 13, the 500 teams. So a lot of guys that are on the team right now, this is their first time making it to some sort of championship game. So, just giving them the experience, from my experience, just sharing it with them and let them know, hey, you got to stay focused. Like, we're not done. We're nowhere near done. We got one more game to the big dance. And then even then, we're still not done. Because then we're wanting to go to the next level with this.
So saying, absolutely. So saying this, they, you're talking about the rookies and the youngsters, and you as a captain and a seasoned veteran, you were explaining that you're key because you're like a coach on the field. So how do you turn around and try to install it into the other players so they can follow your lead?
I just express my feelings. I'm very sentimental when it comes to football. I got to let them know, this could be your last game. I take it very personal with guys. As long as we all do our job and finish our assignments, a wise man once said, assignment, alignment, attack. That's all we got to do.
So when you tell them what to do, and I know that the coaches are all seasoned because I grew up with them and everything, and I've been with this organization for almost 20 years. Saying that, does it resonate better hearing it from you and Christian and the other captains, or does it resonate more from the coaches?
I think we all feed off of each other's energy. there's no I in this team, not even when it comes to captains. It's a big family. But I think we all express to each other, how bad we really want this. We pray before every practice, or at the end of practice, or before every game. Without God, we wouldn't be in this situation. So we let them know, hey, sometimes we got to put our, in the dirt.
Absolutely.
And I got everybody's back, just like I hope everybody got my back. And I know they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Angel Cardona, and Dalton Purdom. And I'm sorry because I have been slacking because I've been off for the last couple of weeks too. So Dalton Purdom and Angel Cardona, the Panthers. We are near halftime. In fact, we're at halftime, but we can, push it a little bit more. I know you guys need to get to practice, so as we are looking at our phones, and I got a little clock, so
nice.
And I plan on being out there a little bit later. So I do enjoy seeing you guys out there. And the one thing that I've noticed this year that I had not really seen in previous years is the fact that your team unity is so strong. Now, last week, it was really, really tested. But for most part, you guys really bond very well. And, so tell me a little bit, what happened last week that you kind of lost the grip just a little bit, and how did you recover from it?
We didn't have all of our starters at the game. I think a lot of them started flowing in late into the game. So we started off, off balance. We made those adjustments just like every other game. Dalton didn't start the game, but we made those adjustments.
After the second drive.
That's all it comes down to, is who can make those adjustments when we need them. Like I said, it's any given Saturday at this point.
Absolutely. So last week we played at 4:30, or you guys played at 4:30. This week you will play at 6 o'clock. How much of a difference and an advantage is that for you guys to play at that time?
Oh, I can't wait to be under those lights again. Be back at our home field, our original home field at Winnetonka. Oh, I can't wait.
I think it's going to be fun.
We've had a lot of fun.
The heat's going to go down towards the end of the game, so it definitely helps out. Stay cool. It's still going to be hot.
Right.
At kickoff, I think it's supposed to be like 90 something, maybe close to 100.
102 with index.
But take advantage of that little dark, or the sun going away.
Right, because you got those trees in the background. Eventually, it goes underneath there, and then the huge difference in the temperature too. And I have announced a few games for the Titans myself. So do you know that I have known Coach Webb since he was a little boy?
Wow.
Yeah. So I went to school with his brother, Ken. Ken was the oldest. We were the same age. And then his brother, Anthony, and he's a stud. I'm telling you what, he's 57 years old, but I guarantee you, if he walked out there in pads and stuff, you would go, oh my gosh, and he is still in great shape. Of course, he lives in Florida in a nice area, so.
It doesn't surprise me Webb's still in good shape.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, he does. Well, he does take care of his body and everything else. But, yeah, I have known him for a long time, and he has just always been just a grinder, a man of morals, And the thing of it is, and I'm not going to try to get religious here, but, Jimmy is the faith of God. Coach Webb is the faith of God, and most of the players. So, it just really helps when you get, that, you have a little bit of faith because, you mortared all through the season. and you had to have a little bit of faith last week, and you guys did it. So, so the Falcons won by 2 touchdowns. Obviously we won by 2 touchdowns, and then you had and all the 4 games were really close games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, saying this, you got 2 games on Saturday. What would you guys think if you would have had a game on Saturday and somebody had a game on Sunday? So rather you guys played Saturday or Sunday or vice versa and had both of those games, because you've got 2 games, really great games. You got the Gators and the Bears, and then you've got the Panthers and the Falcons. And both games everybody wants to see. How awesome would it have been to have it 1 game on a Saturday and 1 game on a Sunday?
Both games are prime time games, so I wish we could just sit down and watch the other side go at it.
Yeah, that's the one game I would go and watch.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would travel down to Tulsa to go watch that, or Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
Just to go watch that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, saying this, where in Oklahoma is the game at? I know it's the home of the Bears.
I think Del City, I believe, is where they play at.
Which is?
I think it's suburbs of OKC, maybe.
OKC?
I'm not
Okay.
familiar with the
Yeah, I know they're
All
about
right.
an hour and a half from Tulsa International.
Oh, okay. So they're an hour and a half away from each other. Okay, so I've been through Oklahoma, but I've never been in
It's
Oklahoma.
hot down there.
Yeah, I know.
It's Texas adjacent.
So anyway, this is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Dalton Purdham
Yes, sir.
and Angel Cardona of the Panthers on the show, and we're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we will talk, and these gentlemen will head out of here to go to football practice so they can build up their energy for Saturday's game. So, and gentlemen, I greatly appreciate you guys coming out on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And so, and I love representing the CMFL like this, and especially the Panthers. So this has been really awesome. So with that, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
show in Kansas City. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio, where sports come alive. Join your hosts, the Awesome Voice and Coach 24, as they dive into the latest sports news, analysis, and excitement. From the biggest games to the most thrilling moments, they've got it all covered. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an hour of unbeatable sports action. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio.
Yep. All right, we're back for the second half of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24 is out and about in New York, and DJ Scatter George Walker is running the show, and I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. And Justin Pedrero, I hope I got it right, is watching us right now. So he was the guy last week from East Central Missouri Eagles, and I do want to say that you guys played an incredible game. It was an incredible game, and you guys were down, but you guys came back, and Pedrero was totally unstoppable. I'm telling you what, the first half, he got a few yards, but the second half, he was literally unstoppable. And I just want to thank the Eagles, for their performance, and all four games in the playoffs were amazing. And we need to start trying to website all these games, so where each game could be separately played when it becomes the playoffs. So yes, and the Eagles media said great game last Saturday, and Dimitri Colbert is watching too. So how you doing, sir? And you do an awesome job too, getting the CMFL all around so everybody can watch it, and and I'm trying to do my part too. So saying this, I'm going to stop a little bit, and we're going to talk with Mr. Walker, because we had been gone a couple of weeks. So you need to let us know what happened, where did you go, and how did your how was your results on your venture that you had?
Okay, let me get a little light on the subject here. I'm usually not on the screen, but if you want me to talk, I guess I'll be on that.
Yep, I do.
All right. So, yes, last week, or July the 8th, we set off on the MR 340, which is a 340-mile river race, nonstop river race from Kansas City to St. Louis. It's an 85-hour timed event, and it's the longest nonstop river race in the country. So I entered into that. We left out Tuesday. I think that was Tuesday morning. Yeah, we left out Tuesday morning from Kansas City, and we paddled, or the paddling that we did, I went from Kansas City to Glasgow, Missouri. Glasgow, Missouri is 141 miles from Kansas City. So I had a total of 141 miles, and at that point, my time in, supposed to be there at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, and I got there at 4:08 p.m. on Wednesday. So I was not allowed to go any further than that because I had took too long a time getting there. So it was a great experience. We had a little trouble with the fog Wednesday morning that held us up, and I really felt bad because I didn't challenge the fog more than I did. If we would have challenged the fog, it would have been a thing, but we were cautious, not having been through that before. So as we were waiting for the fog to clear, because we didn't want to get run over by a barge or something like that, we probably should have been more aggressive and got out into the river and, in a way, take your chances, but you kind of know they do send out text messages of when barges are leaving or where they are on the river and stuff. Because we waited 3 hours for the fog to lift. So the 3-hour wait, and as I said, I missed the time spot by 8 minutes. So we really had more than enough time to cover that ground, but we did not. So that was that. We could have pushed a little farther the first night too, because we left out and we went a little shy of 100 miles. We went to Hills Island. If we would have paddled on to Miami, Missouri, which would have got us in there probably about midnight or 1 in the morning, we wouldn't have had that much farther to go. It was like 36 miles from Miami to Glasgow. So we took a break early and got caught in the fog, to where if we would have pushed ourselves a little bit farther, and I do mean push, because by the time we did get to Hills Island, it's pretty tiring. But that was what went on. It was fun, though. There was 576 people, as they say, 300 and something boats that took off. Some of them were single. I raced in a single kayak, but there were some boats that had doubles, and then some that they had a dragon boat out there with, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 people in it.
Right.
And a few canoes that were 3 or 4 man canoes.
So when you did this, did you have a team? Now, you could have individual canoes and stuff like that, but did you have teams that you rode together or you
Yes.
traveled together?
Yes.
And I have to ask this: does going from Kansas City to St. Louis, does the river go uphill or downhill?
Yeah, there's parts that go uphill, but no, it flows down from Kansas City to St. Louis, although sometimes it felt like it was going uphill. When you're really trying to push it and stuff, so I told some guys when I got through, I said, yeah, I was doing good till I had to go uphill a ways, and then that kind of wore you out. But no, it's a downhill flow from Kansas City to St. Louis.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the river is crooked because, as a lot of us know, if you take I-70, you're in St. Louis in about 250 miles.
Uh-huh.
But by water, it's 340 miles.
That's because it doesn't go just straight.
Yeah,
it has curves and
then
stuff like
they
that.
didn't lay the river out the way they did the highway. So it was really fun. I did have a partner that went with me, and he went with me last year also. So hats off to Rayfield. Rayfield was there through the night. We got up in the morning, we pushed, and 4 o'clock comes around. I mean, when you look at it, you're actually paddling. I think we paddled about 6 hours each time. We left Kansas City, we went to Lexington with 50 miles. And it takes you, we were there about 2, we left Kansas City at 7 in the morning. It was about 2 o'clock, 2:30 when we got to Lexington. Then we went to Waverly, Missouri. We got there about 7 o'clock. Then to Hills Island was about to 10:30. So you're paddling pretty much all the time. You get some rest spots, but basically you're in the water and you've got to paddle.
So, saying that, did you? How long did the event take?
The event runs for 86 hours, and the last person to get in to the finish line got there in about 85 and 40 something. So
Right.
it's kind of there's some real, I won't say professional, they don't get paid, but the real racers
Right.
get out there and they're getting it. And then they have the everyday folks that are getting out there and all our old heads, because it's a little disheartening, because while you're on the river and say Wednesday, we're getting to Glasgow 140 miles away or something, and then you hear, because I still got text on the radio,
Right.
they have an app
Right.
that's track, and then you hear that, by Wednesday evening that the first people are done.
Oh, wow.
They finished in 39, 40 hours. The last person comes in 85 hours.
Oh, wow. Well,
There's some people that really, it's just like a marathon or something.
Right.
The people from Kenya and stuff like that, they're finishing in 2 hours.
Oh,
and
yeah.
50-something minutes. And the rest of the people may be coming in at 6, 8 hours, who knows?
Oh, wow. Well,
Behind them.
the ECMO Eagles media said paddling 100 miles is crazy.
Oh,
So saying this, ECMO Eagles, if you can hear me, call in at 816-599-6893, and we can get you in, and we can talk a little bit about the football game too, and we can talk about why you thought paddling 100 miles is crazy.
But it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge. I'm going to be in it next year. You have a team. We had a ground crew. My granddaughter flew in from Tucson, Arizona. She's the lead of my ground crew, which includes my wife, and then my son and daughter-in-law met us up in Miami also. So you have groups that bring you your water and things like that, because you go through a whole lot of water. I was telling my wife, it's like, hey, you gotta have water when you get there, because I had 2 3-liter containers on the boat with me, and in 50 miles you about emptied them.
Right, absolutely.
I was talking to a lady, one of the veterans, and she had cut a little hole in her rear hatch, and she said, I got a backpack with water on it, and I got another gallon in the hatch behind me. I mean, that's the type of preparation you've got to have, especially to keep going.
Right.
And not stop.
So the kind of like the vest that you had on your chest on the picture, is that the water?
No.
Or is that a life preserver?
That was a life preserver. Everybody's got to have a life preserver. The race is real safety conscious too. I mean, they have safety boats. There's about 6 safety boats that are traveling up and down, checking on racers, and racers check on each other. If you see somebody not paddling, you usually holler over to them. If they give you the thumbs up, everything's okay. They're just taking a break.
Right.
If they don't, then they may be in trouble. They had a couple of people that I read about later that had to go to the hospital.
Ooh.
One at the end of the race, she made it through the race and was at the celebration.
Right.
And got sick there, and they found out she was really dehydrated. So
Oh,
they had
wow.
to take her to the hospital, give her fluids. Another guy said his wife really scared him because she got to throwing up on the route and was really bad, and they had to get her to the hospital, but her condition was getting better. But it's a strenuous thing, and you've got to eat too. I was reading and doing my research is going, and they say to paddle that, you have to consume 200 to 300 calories an hour.
Oh wow, 200 to
it's like
300 calories an hour. Oh wow. How can you get cake out there to eat that?
You carry your stuff, man. I tell you, and you got to try to eat quick because you don't want to stop paddling too long. So you're. What did I have? I had crushed up pretzels for my salt and bread, and I put some trail mix in them, and I had it in a large opened container so that I could just pop the top off and gulp down this trail mix and pretzel mixture.
Oh,
I
wow.
had some squeezable applesauce.
Uh-huh.
My partner had some applesauce. He said he bought it. He was going. He said it wasn't until he got home and looked at it, and it was actually baby food. But he said it was really good.
Yeah.
He had
Well,
that
baby,
while we
I
were
used
there.
to eat when my little brother and sister were born, and they were younger. They would eat the Gerber desserts. Oh my God, the bananas! I could eat that all day long.
So we were eating that, and then at a rest stop, you can have a banana hamburger or something. The Boy Scout troops are there. That's how they raise a little money.
Right.
So when I got to Lexington, my wife had bought me a hamburger. I took a couple of bites out of it and took it back in the boat with me where I could grab and take a bite here and there. So you got to constantly be trying to eat, constantly drinking water and getting your electrolytes in you, keeping your sugar up, just trying to mellow everything out as you're paddling. The pace that they set, from what I heard, is about 5 miles an hour, 5.5 miles an hour.
And that doesn't really sound fast, 5 miles an hour.
Right.
But explain how fast that really is.
That's going pretty good because I was able, when I'm paddling the hardest, I got up to about 7.2, 7.5 miles an hour. That was about my best. And I could hold that speed for only 5-10 minutes tops. I could cruise along paddling and keep it at around 6 to 6.5 miles an hour. So that's constantly paddling. You're not resting, and that's why you have to watch when you try to eat, because if you put your paddle down, your speed starts dropping.
Right,
and,
right.
And you get down to 4 miles an hour pretty quick, and you got to build it up. We have an app called the Race Aisle that was developed, and people have other Garmin and other units that can kind of tell you your speed. It tells you your average speed and your estimated time of arrival at the time spots.
Right.
So you can look down and see, well, if you're averaging 6 miles an hour, you're pretty good. If you're averaging 6.5, you're really doing pretty good. But if you're averaging 4 something, 5 something, you're in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Because they have a boat called the Reaper.
Oh, what's the Reaper?
The Reaper is the pace boat.
Ah, okay.
And it's going at a speed that's what's timing you. So if the Reaper gets to a checkpoint before you do, you're disqualified.
Ooh.
So, and a beautiful picture is what I like. It was a lady in a rowboat by herself called Slow Row. Was the name of it. And at the end of the race, everybody was cheering her in because the Reaper is it's an outboard, pretty nice like boat and stuff. It's got a cabin on it. And on the cabin windows, they got a couple of big eyes, like eyes, and it's got an alligator mouth on the side. So she's rowing backwards in the rowboat. And as she's coming into the finish line, she's staring the Reaper in the eye.
Oh, wow.
If it passes her, she doesn't finish.
Oh, my goodness.
And everybody's cheering, and she gets in before the Reaper, by just less than minutes.
Right.
That she actually completed the 340 miles.
Oh, wow. Now, you said it was 86, but how many days was the event?
Okay, it started on Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., and we went until Friday, 9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So that was the time of it.
So roughly 4 days?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 days. It takes, they give you to do it. A lot of people finish, and you can get tags for if you're in a sub 80, a sub 70, sub 60 hours, and stuff. So they, have little badges for how you really did in groups and stuff. And they have some recognition. They have different categories. So at 7 o'clock, all the single kayaks take off. That's that division. At 8 o'clock, the tandem kayaks, all the rest of them take off. And there's paddle drives, the people that have the pedals that they pump and go by it. So you can, in those divisions, they have single men, women. They have tandem men, women. Then they have mixed men, women. For if it's 2 in the boat, like husband and wife.
Right.
They all have divisions. So you can place first in your division just as well as winning the race.
Wow, that is very cool. I'm learning something new tonight. So saying this real quick, so when you're boating, you're always paddling and everything. How long can you just coast? Or are you ever able to coast?
You can coast if you've got a good, you know what your time is. And if you're ahead, because the river, you have to remember, the river helps you out.
Right.
Now, the river moves at about 3 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
So when you're going downstream, if you get in the current and you've got an app that kind of tells you where the current is, where the real water is moving, because you can be in different parts of the river and it's different speeds.
Right.
In the current. So you get in the current and you got about 3 miles an hour going there. So if you're ahead of the Reaper or waves and stuff, you can take your little break.
Nice.
It kind of depends on how competitive you are.
Nice.
Something. But you may can get to where you say, hey, for the next 4 or 5 minutes, I'm just cruising. I keep it steered straight, but I can rest.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll start back to paddling again.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people may ask you, are you okay? If you stop and stuff, but you can just wave them on.
Right.
Yeah, you can generally take 4 or 5 minute breaks. You see people stop paddling basically for a little while, and they're drinking water, they're eating a little something, and then they get back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are near the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Marvin Durant is watching right now. He has a podcast that I am also his sidekick on the record with Marvin Durant. It's on Spotify. It's also on X, and I'm hoping that I get it right. Durant 59 If not, definitely go to Spotify and you can watch the show. We have a great show that we do too. And Scott Leninger, Sherry Mason, Sue Stewart, I'm so glad you were watching tonight. Your husband, Mr. Stewart, Roger Stewart, he was a great man. We had Stacy Brown watching. We had ECMO Eagles Media. We had Justice Perdero. And I was hoping maybe they could call in and try to talk a little bit, but maybe we can try to do that another time. So thank you, everybody who watched us tonight and enjoyed the show. But we are going to get off here. So checking this out, Candy Barcombe, you're watching. Thank you for watching. And with that, with Coach 24, Darwin Penny, my brother with another mother, DJ Scatter, George Walker, and I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice, and you're listening to Any Given Sunday on KUAW. And be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a phenomenal sports weekend. Go Panthers!